Women are not built to work the same way men work. They just not. They don't even like it. If you talk to any woman who has a good job, compare the matrix between a man in that same job, how many hours he works versus how many hours she's willing to work. And I promise you, it's a big difference. It's very disproportionate. Okay, it's because she don't really want to do all that. But if you push her to the point where she has to do all that, she don't need you at that point. She's not secure in that relationship anymore. She can't. You're getting her out of her femininity.
Admired, being respected, and then being depended on are probably my like top three things that I've noticed. But I've actually never asked this question. This is a really good question,
Oh
Clement. I'm
my
excited to hear. I know I'm not. I think I failed. I think I just failed men.
God.
I'm just kidding, but yeah, I think that's what I would think. That's what I hear. Like when I ask my partner, like when we check in together, that's typically what he says makes him happy. Um, but yeah, that's a really good question.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: what is an example of something that you purposely do that you know your partner would enjoy without him having to say it? You do it.
Support him in his endeavors. So, like for example, he just bought a house that
Oh,
ended up going through, and so supporting him through that, through the investment part of it, and being like excited for it as well, like showing that I want to do it and that it means a lot to me just as much as it means a lot to him. So
okay, okay.
yeah.
Danielle, welcome to the panel. How
Hello.
you doing?
I'm wonderful.
Love it. I
Drew,
love
why you want to look like the Grim Reaper, bro?
it. All right, Danielle.
Sir.
What makes a man feel secure in a relationship?
Ah. Absolutely. Uh, I guess I would go with what R. Kelly said.
I'll pee on you.
He want a homie lover friend. R. Kelly said he want a homie lover friend.
Okay.
And so I think if you could be those things for
This is
him.
a question that stumps women, I see. Okay.
Uh I I think that we just naturally do stuff. We don't actually always know what it is we're doing. My mother said that a man needs to feel needed. Um and so besides listening to R. Kelly, I listened to my mother. So those are the four things I did.
All right. So, R. Kelly and your mother have taught you how to love a man. That's what you're telling me. How to make a man feel
Yes.
secure in a relationship.
Yes.
Okay. So, give me an example of something you've done that you know that your husband loves, but he didn't have to tell you you did it because you knew he would.
Always text him random text messages to let him know how much I appreciate his hard work, his steadfastness in supporting our family.
Okay. It's a harder question to answer than I was expecting. John, what makes a man feel secure in a relationship?
Knowing that he is needed, knowing that he is respected, knowing that if if someone tries to holler at his female, she gonna shoot him down. I mean, all of that. So that's when you just know by the way she treats you, the rest is gonna come with it. Like it's if she behaves a certain way, then there's other behaviors that just come along with that. Like if she treating you like this, and she giving you that respect, then it's other things that just come along with it that will make you feel secure. Because the biggest thing to a man, um, you can tell us you love us all day, but if men are honest, that shit go in one ear out the other ear. It's all about, because if you love me, like, how do you treat me? You understand? Like, saying, like, how long do you stay mad at me? What do you get mad at me about? Are you being trivial? Are you being petty? Do you respect me? Do you tell me what you're gonna do, or do you ask me? Like, how do you speak to me? All of this stuff is all about respect. Respect is a man's love language. If you
Big.
disrespectful, you can shut me all the way down to where I want nothing to do with you. And that's just that. If men being honest, they'll agree with that. Respect is real big on a man's as his love language. The whole I love you too, I love you. What does that really mean? Because love is what love does. If you're not behaving like you love me, I don't believe it. But if you should respect me, then you love me. That's how we interpret that.
Agreed. Yeah. A lot of times, I want to say, even in my previous relationships, I never could really verbalize what the uncomfort was. But I know a lot of the times, not even a lot of the times, but there were times where I wouldn't really feel secure in the relationship or even my standing with them, and I could never. I just knew they would never really care to ask anything. They never really cared to do anything. It was kind of like, oh, I'm here, and that should be good enough. And sometimes that's not what men want. More than just you being there, men want more than sex. Men want to actually, and sometimes just come to someone and be able to open up and talk to, and know that it's not going to be thrown back in their face. You know, Chris, you think, has any of this kind of made health in any way?
Well, I think it confirms what I said at first, like being depended on. Like men, they like to feel needed. I think John kind of alluded to that. So yeah, I think yeah, it clears it up.
Okay. My answer: when a man knows he will be respected and come home to a wife who will give him love, support, and peace. There we go. I think across the board,
Yep.
most guys are going to say the same thing. A man feels secure in a relationship when a woman craves her man. Crave and admire is one of the major things. A woman who submits her feels to him and is not overbearing.
Yep.
Okay. Men don't play that. That's talking about feelings. Also, what makes a man feel secure is when he knows his woman doesn't feel the need to seek attention from men outside his home.
That's what I was talking about. He know
Mhm.
that you'll shut him down. Like, I always call them the hey look at me girls. If you a hey look at me girl, I don't got no dealings with you. Like, I don't like a hey look at me girl, because you don't need to dress like that outside the home for what? Like, what is the real purpose? I just like looking good. That's a lie. You like attention. You like attention. That's all it is. And that's cool. If you like that, you just not for me. You might be for somebody who maybe you get two attention seekers in the same relationship, and you ought to see how that shit go. They fight for bathroom space, mirrors, and every fucking thing. That's a whole mess. Two narcissistic personality disorders in the same fucking house. No, I'm pretty. No, I'm pretty. No, I'm prettier. No, I'm prettiest. Our children are the most beautiful. Yeah, like, let's say that. Crazy ass.
That's actually very true. I mean, John said the same thing. Tax saying the same thing. Also, shout out to everyone in the chat. You know, knowledge and relationships. Simon, what the funk, Tack Williams, Chase, bro, already on here. I love it. Appreciate you guys. Keep up the conversation. But it's over once the respect is gone. Love is second to respect, to at least black men. I cannot speak for other races of men. Honestly, I was gonna say across all men in general. Respect is the top.
Top.
Everything else is just it's second to that. But what? But let's turn that question around. What makes a woman feel secure in a relationship?
Shit,
John.
you handling your business. You handling your business as a man, bro. Like if you paying for what you, if you are, if you show, then you demonstrate you are that guy. You're a provider. You are you're compassionate. You're understanding. You're attentive. You're present. Um, she feels secure. You're a protector because you can't just be a provider, but you're not a protector. Because the minute she feel unsafe, like she can find another dude who's willing to be a provider. You can like don't get it twisted. Men, it's more like men have a lot of options because there's more women than men, but men, oh, you can be replaced. Like you can be replaced. So you can't be like a wimp, like scary or whatever. Because if you're not gonna stand up for her, she will walk away from you. And that's a whole fact. She will end that. It'll be over. Like you got to be both. And one of the things that make her feel most secure, once you outside of your prime and you're not really into where the physical protection is not going to be such a factor, is how can you protect your home? How can you protect from losing the things that you acquired in your youth together, especially that's together? Because when she feels like she has to do it, or when she feels like um you're just not like, she doesn't trust that you're gonna be able to sustain this, she'll hang in there with you. But if you make her too scared and she got small children, she gonna leave. Because and then especially if it starts, women are not built to work the same way men work. They just not. They don't even like it. If you talk to any woman who has a good job, compare the matrix between a man in that same job, how many hours he works versus how many hours she's willing to work. And I promise you, it's a big difference. It's very disproportionate. Okay. It's because she don't really want to do all that. But if you push her to the point where she has to do all that, she don't need you at that point. She's not secure in that relationship anymore. She can't, you're getting her out of her femininity. And if she's gonna be out of her femininity, then guess what? She's gonna get into her masculine side. And now you got a whole problem. Because now she's gonna stand firm with you. She's gonna challenge you. And then you're gonna feel what? Disrespected. And when you feel disrespected, you're checking out emotionally. She's checked out emotionally. And this is when you get into the divorce.
Danielle, what do you think? What makes a woman feel disrespected? Because we just talked about what makes a man, but what makes not disrespected. What makes a woman feel secure in a relationship?
What John said. Yeah. If I don't feel protected, that'll have me really insecure, really unsure. I would definitely try. But I mean, like he said, I mean, every man I ever met want to provide for me. So that's not hard to find. But I definitely need to feel protected, not just physically, but emotionally. I need to know that I can be your safe space just like you are my safe space. I need you to feel comfortable to talk to me. If it is a problem and I'm inquiring about what the problem is, I need you to feel safe enough with me to let me know what the problem is so that we can work on it. Because not all the time is it like the man. Sometimes the woman can be doing something to make a man feel away, to make him withdraw. So I would need for him to be able to open up and explain to me what his problem is and not be so like defensive and expecting me to break down a wall, because I'm not going to do that.
That's very true. But sometimes, I think, you know what, Chris, let's get you in on this before I
Um,
put something in.
Basically, what they said, I guess to go a little bit deeper, I would say feeling valued, feeling wanted um, in the relationship, because I think that is what drives a man wanting to provide for you, is when he finds a need for you in his life, right? And so I think knowing that I fit into his puzzle, right, and his grand puzzle of his dreams, like there's a piece in there that I fit in perfectly. Something about that helps me feel very secure, because I know that um, if I add value to his life, he's going to do those things for me to keep me happy, and then I can continue to keep him happy. And so it's kind of like a domino effect. And I think that's kind of where it starts, is just feeling like the value add is there.
I think a lot of times, especially in these YouTube spaces, I wouldn't say in this point in time and that we are in, we're the most we've ever been, especially as men and women. We're pretty free, we're pretty open, and we are the most divided we've ever been. I don't think both are bringing each other security as much anymore. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think you got a really good point. And I mean, Chris is really touching on that, which is something brings me to something that I thought about when my grandfather was talking to me a long time ago about women. When you finally get a woman like your wife, I'm not talking about every woman. Anytime I'm talking about your wife. You know how I am about I don't treat girlfriends like a wife. I'm talking about the woman I asked to marry me, right? So, he always told me a woman needs an assignment. I'm like, what you mean? Like, what you mean assignment? Like, she has to have meaning and value for y'all. I'm like, okay. Then he broke it down, explained it to me. Like, she needs something to do outside of the norm, for instance, and make it a part of something that you got going on. Don't just take a project and run it by yourself. He said, you ever seen how your grandmother would just automatically come outside, and when I come up there to cut the grass, she'll come outside and she'll start weeding. I was like, yeah. Why is that? And he was like, because when we was together, that was one of her assignments. I would have her help me with the weed eat while I do the yard. And it gave us the time to bond. We took a break together and we got time to spend together. So, like, even when I had my business, my ex, when I was starting the business and getting everything going, she had an assignment. She was a part of that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that was a mistake on my part because she wasn't a wife. So she didn't have the same vested interest in that as I did. She was just a girlfriend. But that's a whole another subject. But the point is, during that time when we were building that, you could see the difference. She would just wake up different. She was like, hey, so today, do you still want me to do that same inventory checklist? I finished it yesterday. Is there any what else you need? And I was like, yeah, I need you to go and talk to this guy and set up a meeting so we can talk about the prices. Okay, I called this number. Is the thing you want me to tell me? I mean, I could see that she had like she woke up with a purpose that day. And each day, all the way up until we had a grand opening. And then she was the one who found that you looked up the contacts for me to call to make all this. But that's just an example. Like, she needs an assignment too. Like, you got to make her a part of what you do, and it just changes the dynamic of the relationship, in my opinion.
Agreed. Definitely. I think a lot of times when we hear things like a trophy wife, or when guys want to take care of a woman and just not have her do anything, I think that's probably the worst thing you can ever
You're
do.
gonna get cheated on immediately. I'm telling you, you're gonna get cheated on. I don't
Beyond
mind the
beyond
devil's
even
work.
cheated on, like I think the idea is she needs to have some skin in the game too.
Yeah.
Just let's just be real. She needs to have skin in the game. She needs to have some stake to lose. So she needs to be putting in legwork as well. It doesn't have to be the same as you. It can be different, but equally as important. But
Yeah, you can't make
Zach
her feel
Williams, welcome to the
unimportant,
panel,
or
man.
you know.
I want to say good evening to everyone.
Hey, how you doing,
Thanks
Mr.
for coming
Williams?
up, man.
Hey, how's it going? Dr. John R. Am I saying that correctly?
You are.
Put some respect on that name.